know who I am. It's Jessica Koch, and it's time for yet another Profound Professionals. This is an interview series we have been running. Can you believe it, people? Some of you have been following me, and thank you for that. And more importantly, following our guests for the last 6 years, almost 7 years. I can't believe it. Time blinks by. And we have been bringing you industry experts from all over the world. We help you with people who can help your personal life improve and get better, and also grow your business. We want your business to grow big, a legacy, so that you can leave it to your community and your family, and it can touch lives even when you may not still be here. So we want it to think big. We want it to go big. And I am not going to disappoint you today. I am bringing another brilliant and very handsome Greig Wells to the stage today. He is our industry expert, and Greig Wells is the creator of the virtual dinner party. Hey, that sounds like a dinner party I can go to and not put on too many pounds. It's a new category of marketing events similar to a webinar, but nothing for sale and all about community building. I love it because I heard him speak today a little bit earlier on a summit that I was on. And you know what? It sounds a lot like brainstorming and masterminding and really just getting to know the people that are in the room with you. Again, no calories, people. How good can a marketing idea get? Dinner party. Greig, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
My pleasure. All right, you have to give us the story. How in the world did you get to the virtual dinner party that, let's just face it, I'm an Italian, okay? The Italian mother of 7 and 7 grandkids, and I want to know, how do we have a dinner party with no food?
We get that question a lot. Are we going to be eating there? Why is it in the afternoon if it's a dinner party? And I'll tell you something, in marketing, intrigue is part of what draws people into your events. People are not sure, what is this exactly? I want to come check it out to see what this is. And it creates even more intrigue when we tell people the 3 big promises of a virtual dinner party. That number 1, this is not a networking event. I hate networking events. I've been to B&I and everybody's pitching everybody. The only people that even really go to those people are like the insurance salesman. And so this is not a networking event. The best way to really relationship build with someone is to actually help each other. That's what we're doing. Number 2, this is a virtual dinner party is not a teaching event. This is not me doing a lecture. It's distributed learning. It's active learning. We go into breakout rooms and have discussions, and we come back to the main room and we take shares. So we're getting the best of the best of what's being discussed in those breakout rooms. And people don't have the attention span for a lecture anymore, for a webinar anymore. And so this holds their attention span. And then number 3, there's nothing for sale. So not a networking event, not a teaching event, not for sale, and no food. What the heck is this? It's what makes it so appealing and interesting, and such an easy invite to bring people into your world, to lead generate. And that's just the beginning of the magic of what happens in the BDP.
Well, I love that it takes so many great minds in this world to really bust through the noise and touch people's lives and meet them where they are, right? Because for the record, I'm in love with Greig's idea. Just brilliant, and I can't wait to attend one. But I do love networking events. I do love teaching events and webinars. I do love I even love the pitching and the sales ones where you go there. That's the point, I think there's something great to be said about speed networking too. It's just a lot of fun, and I've gotten value, but every time I've gotten value, it's because of what Greig says right here. I've gotten value because I go there with the spirit and the mindset and the energy of, how can I support you? How can we collaborate? How can we think differently outside the box and really get to know one another? And he is creating the space where it is a sacred, safe space for that. And I think that it is beautiful and needed and different. And I think there's space in the world for all the things.
And now, just to dovetail on that, I agree. All those things are, networking and selling, they all still happen. They're not going away. No. But they don't have to happen in the first interaction that I have with you, is kind of the metaphor that I'm saying.
Let's date before we get married, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just have a little bit of a conversation before we go straight to the, I won't say it. This is a PG, at least family rated show, but you know what I'm talking about. So he says, let's date a little while first. Let's talk, let's chat, let's be friends before there are any additional benefits. So,
And it's a two-way street, right? Like, I don't know that I want the person there as a client either.
that's
Uh,
right.
and part of that is being selective. Part of that is a reverse psychology. You know, when you're chasing your leads all the time, people think about on the playground. If somebody runs after you, little kid, the kid runs away, right?
Yeah.
That's what's happening with your leads. But if you're like, hey, I'm not selling, like you're auditioning for me to see if I, at this virtual dinner party, for me to see if I even want to work with you, we build this to a crescendo where it's a 50-50 decision. You're deciding, can I help you? And I'm deciding, do I want to work with you? And there's a power in that.
I love that. I love that screening. So beyond the virtual dinner party, or maybe to develop my own, or what is my experience if I come to you and say, Greg, I need to hire you, I need some support here. How are you going to help me? What is my journey and experience as a customer of yours?
Yeah, great question. So when we work with a client, we start with designing the virtual dinner party to fit your goals, your marketing. If you have a podcast, okay, we're going to invite people after your podcast to come to your virtual dinner party. If you have a webinar funnel, however your marketing is designed, the virtual dinner party plugs right into it. It's not something new you have to go learn and do. It plugs right into whatever you're doing. And that's our first step. Step two is we're going to custom design your virtual dinner party, which includes the RSVP process. This is where we're collecting data and listening and getting insights into what exactly do your people want help with. You see, the big outcome beyond the community building and the lead generation, a virtual dinner party is a discovery event. We want to ask the right questions to discover what exactly do your people need help with, so that they feel listened to, that they feel heard. And then after the virtual dinner party is when you're going to have your enrollment conversation with them. So typically I run VDPs and would coach you to run it on a Thursday, once a month on a Thursday. And everyone comes to this event and they're like, this is amazing. I had a great time. I met people. I've made friends. I got help. You're not selling anything. I love you for putting this together. Thank you, on Thursday. And meanwhile, they've also told you exactly what they need help with specific to what you do. And then on Monday, we reach back out and say, hey, remember that thing you were saying you had problems with? That's the kind of thing I help people with. Would you want to hop on a call and see if I can help you? Right. But we've built all this trust, all this credibility instantly by not selling and giving them this world-class experience. That's how this works together. So I would help you design this. Your virtual dinner party would, of course, be on the topic of what you're helping people with.
Which would be, in case you didn't know by now, following our show for so long, is helping you get virtual assistants so that you're not spinning all the plates all alone by yourself and trying to do everything, because you just shouldn't do that. We also help with sales and marketing consulting, and we do social media training. So that is my plug that he so kindly handed over to me.
I love that. And just to go deeper into your business as an example here. So imagine they get to the room and we tell them you're about to go into groups of 3. And you're going to share, when it comes to outsourcing to a virtual assistant, where do you keep getting stuck? You're going to go into a group of 3 and talk about that and help each other. And each person will get 1 minute to share and then 1 minute to help. And that'll happen for about 10 minutes. And so they're in that room talking about that, getting clarity about what they need to buy from you. Someone can't buy your help until they have clarity. And so they're talking each other through the process and gaining clarity. And the other magic to this is if you just come out and ask them that, there's a sales dynamic. Oh, you're asking me where I'm stuck so that you could try to sell me virtual assistants, right? My guard goes up. But if I'm talking about it in a safe place, and my guards, there is no guard, or there's no reason, and it's an event where you're not selling. So that's kind of gives you an idea of how we'd start to design the questions and the experience around the topic, so that by the end of the event, people realize outsourcing is something I can do. Here's exactly what I would want help with, what I want the outsourcing people to do. Here's exactly what my life would look like. We do a future pacing exercise where they have this realization of what their life would look like if they had outsourced this. I'd have all this time. I'd be being, the free finally, right?
Yeah.
That's what I get into this for.
For me, I'm kayaking, I'm out there
There you
on the
go,
water
kayaking.
because my team is doing the things that I know need to be done to keep our business going, but I don't really want to do them. So this works out really, really well. Now, I love that you are tracking that data and learning to listen to your community, because that is how, so 7 years ago, my firm started. 4 years ago, we launched the agency because 10 times in 1 week, this is the universe, by the way, smacking me with a frying pan and blinking fluorescent neon lights at me. I got the same question of, how do you do it all? How are you everywhere? And I didn't do it all. I had a team. And then everyone said, well, how do you do that? And so when you listen to your community and they're asking you the same question over and over again, that means it may be time to think about building a program just on that and serving your community with what they need the most and what you may not even know you're good at. Like, I didn't know I was good at having an agency. When the universe told me that, I said, what are you, crazy? I don't know how to do that. And we built the plane as we flew. We were honest with our clients and said, hey, put a parachute on. Let's do a launch program. What do you think? We'll try it. We'll learn together. And everybody jumped on board, and has grown to 100 team members globally and clients all over the world since then, and just the last 4 years. So you just don't know what'll happen if you do Greig's process, because he is building this virtual dinner party so that you can get that information in a safe, comfortable space. It's not too salesy or sleazy. And find out what exactly it is that they need. So a tip, would love, love, love a tip from you that could help improve someone's life or business today based on your expertise, Greig.
Yeah, and my tip would be just kind of building on what you were just sharing there. We get so caught up in what we want to do. I want to coach people on this. I want to help people with this. And the solution is usually half about what you want to do and half about what your people want.
Yeah.
And so my tip would be, if you're guessing at what your people want, your odds are, first of all, you're going to be wrong. But on top of that, you're going to describe it in ways that you think of, not what they think of. If you just listen to them, if you just ask them, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
And so often your business will evolve. Just like you said, the idea for the virtual assistants came out of what your people were asking for, right? So I'm not saying, like, if you're a health coach and your people want help, recruiting, you don't get out of health, but you need to ask the right questions and understand, what do your people want? And the main problem we have right now is you're not having enough conversations. And the virtual dinner party, in a matter of 1-2 hour event, you'll have 20 different conversations that are going on. You'll hear 20 different perspectives, the data that you get, the validation, the direction that it will send you. And that's just using the data on a macro level. Then there's using the data on a micro level to enroll that individual person. So for example, if in your virtual dinner party or mine, this comes up all the time in mine, someone will be like, I have no time to do anything. I can't learn something new. I don't even have time to train a BA. Right. If I see that in their data, right, that I got from the virtual dinner party, because they fill out the survey when they sign up, right? Then when I open my conversation with that, I start with, hey, our program's designed for people who have no time. Let me tell you why this is going to be great with you. If you don't know that, and you make your standard pitch about virtual assistants or about virtual dinner parties, whatever it might be, you're going to get to the end, and then the objection is going to come up. Well, I don't have time for this. It's not the right time for this, right? You don't know how that person wants the solution to be packaged up.
Exactly. So the tip here is, ask your community what's up with them and listen, and then make some decisions on how you take action. We are running out of time, and I want to hit a few more points with you. So, a cause you care about. Is there a cause that you care about, Greig? Because we always share that on our show, and it's just been so inspirational and helps so many people. So hit that share button. You just don't know who you're going to help today, because Greig Wells is going to share the cause he cares about.
Yeah, so I call all of this, and the name of my company is Love Thy Neighbor Marketing. And so to me, loving thy neighbor means being in community. It means listening with people. And that's how I'm teaching to do marketing with these virtual dinner party events. And as I see it, that's leading people deeper into their faith. That's the cause that I'm most passionate about. And, when you're running these virtual dinner party events, it adds this meaningfulness and purpose, into your work, and how you market to people can be leading them deeper into community as well.
And how about, everybody knows it, it's not just the glasses. I am a bookworm, and we're building the ultimate book list. And I always ask my guests to please share at least one book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business, not written by you, because I know you're an amazing author, and we're going to hit that book next. And that book will be on the list too. So keep your eye out for that link and that information. But Greg, what's a book you could share with us that helped you?
Yeah, so it's funny, based on what we've been talking about here, the book is called The Ask Method by Ryan Levesque. And it's been really inspirational for me. I've gone on to mentor under Ryan, and it's about how to ask the right questions so that people tell you what they want help with. So it's the perfect resource and follow-up.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty easy listen on Audible to what we've been covering here.
I love that. All right. All right. We already told you he's an author. You're dying to know. We want to hear all about his book. Tell us about the book you wrote.
Yeah, so the book I wrote, it was actually a bestseller back in 2013. The content is still very relevant today. It's called Dare to Succeed. Dare to Succeed. I wrote it together with Jack Canfield, of course, who's famous for the Chicken Soup for the Soul series of books and The Secret. And what we did in this book was we took a lot of Jack's ideas around the law of attraction and personal development concepts, and we wrote them into business strategies. So if you are someone that likes the idea of applying personal development concepts, things like the love languages, for example. How would you apply this into your business? How can you determine quickly your customers' love languages? Those are all the types of things we talk about in the book, Dare to Succeed.
That is beautiful. I love that book. I can't wait to add it to our ultimate book list, and the link will be there. It'll also be in the custom article we build about Greg that accompanies all these shows. Hey, speaking of shows, you're watching, you're listening. We love that. We love that you share, but wait. Maybe you're an industry expert. Maybe you can help someone's personal life, or you can help grow their business. We would love to feature you on the show. And also, you could be someone's hero. You could introduce us to an industry expert that you might know, and you could be their hero and ours too, because we'd love to feature them on the show as well. So before we say goodbye, I always ask for one more golden nugget from my audience. I make sure I take care of you. Yes, you're still watching, and we love that. And Greg is going to give us a final piece of information or inspiration before we say goodbye. What do you have for us, Greg?
Yeah, so the biggest game changer for me in my online marketing was realizing the more I teach in my content and my events, the less people buy, and taking out all the teaching. Now, and you tend to think, well, if you take out all the teaching, isn't that all the content? Doesn't that just leave selling and testimonials? No. Marketing in events is about transformation. It's about helping people realize who they need to become to become a client of yours. And you do this through stories that shift people's beliefs. Now, I'll just give you a quick example if we have a minute here of this, because I think you'll find this so valuable. So for example, I often run up against the objection, well, I've hired a coach before, an agency before, and they let me down, right? So in my events, I tell a story that gives people an aha moment around that. And what I typically do is I ask, are you dating anyone, or are you married, Jessica?
I am so very happily married to the most handsome, hunky, hot guy on the planet who still sets me on fire, and it's been almost 24 years.
Amazing. That's so admirable. But just to fit in with the story here, I bet before him, you dated some other people, right? Of course. He may not want to know about that, but of course you did. And obviously those relationships didn't work out, right? And but if you had given up on love after one or two bad relationships, you would have never had this amazing love that you have now. And in fact, if you look back on those previous relationships, probably you learned some things from those. Maybe you learned what you like and don't like in a person. Maybe you learned things about yourself, what you would do differently next time around, right? So in relationships and love, we get this. And it makes sense then to apply this same principle in marketing and coaching. Why are you going to give up on your dream just because you had one scenario go bad? So you see, I took a story from another area of life and used it to help shift a belief that even though I've been burned, I'm going to try it again. And that's what you want to do in your content and in your marketing is shift beliefs like that. Instead of teaching, every time you teach someone something, they are thinking, well, let me go try this. What do I need your help for? Why should I buy anything from you? I'm going to go try this tip and see if it works. And so taking out all the teaching and replacing it with stories like the one I just did has been game changing for me.
That's a great final thought. So don't give up is the message I hear. And also, I just found out that Henry Ford tried to start a company like two or three times prior than having his big success. And had he given up, lots of things would be different in that industry. So, don't give up. I didn't know that. That was a new one I learned. All right. Well, here we are at the end already. Thank you again so much for watching our show. You know who I am. I'm Jessica Koch, and I'm your host of Profound Professionals. And until next time, be kind to yourselves and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.